Hi, my name is Peter from Art of Physio, and in this video I'm going to take you through some exercises for the glutes, but then both in the short range and the long range. And the reason why I show them both is because most of the times when the muscle is fully short or fully long, they have the least amount of strength. And that's also where a lot of the gain can be made, because halfway through the range, muscles are always the strongest. But the more we can get those end ranges a little bit stronger, the better your body is able to handle loads. And it will actually help you to be way more functional, and it just feels way more smoother if you're also focusing on stronger end ranges. Yes, so the first one that we're going to do is focus on the long range. So that means when the tissue is fully lengthened. I'm going to show you from the side. I'm going to work on my left leg. My right foot is just on the floor, just for balance and purposes, but I want to keep the majority of my weight, almost like 90% of the weight on my front leg, and 10% can be on the other leg. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to push that hip backwards. And what that's going to do, and I already feel, is like it's going to bring some kind of stretch here. Then the more I keep my knee extended, the more my hamstring will join the party. So even though that's fine for general exercises, for the sake of this exercise, we want to feel the majority of the stretch really on that glute. So if I'm here, I tilt my pelvis a little bit more forward as well. I can even rotate my belly button almost over my standing leg. And now I'm going to feel like, where do I feel the most tension? So I feel the majority here. I feel a little bit in my hamstring. So what I will do, I just move my knee a little bit more forward. That will take off some of the pressure and the tension here, but now it allows me to sink in a little bit more here. So once we found this position, what I want you to do is press that foot through the floor, as if there's a scale on there, and I want to get that scale to as high level as possible. So you'll see that I start to shake already. And that's completely fine. That's normal when you do this exercise. But I really want you to feel that when you press your foot through the floor, it's not your quads that become active. It's not your hamstring that becomes most active, but it's really this area here. Yeah, you're going to press that through. If you want, you can even let go of the other foot and really press through the floor on that motion. I don't want to feel it anywhere in my back, really on that glute. Yes, so if this is really hard for you, you can start with 20 seconds, 10 to 20 seconds. Then you can build it up to a little bit longer, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. And I really want you to feel like you're pushing that foot, and it's really getting a lot of work on those muscles here. And as for an intensity, it's perfectly fine if we make this a little bit harder. It's a static exercise, so it's a very safe exercise. We're not moving that much. So it's perfectly fine if we increase that intensity a little bit. So out of a 0 is nothing at all, and a 10 is maximum strength, maximum effort. We want to be to about 6 or so, like between 7 and 8. If you are new to this and it's really hard for you to feel, then decrease the intensity a little bit. If you want to make this a part of your training routine, so let's say you do squats and you do this as a second exercise, then you can even make it a little bit harder than that as well. Yeah? So this is part 1, and you would do 2 or 3 sets of this. Then for the second part, all right, so this is the second exercise. The second exercise, we're going to start in a 90-90 position. So 90-90 means that my front leg is 90 degrees forwards, and there's a kink in there. The back leg has that same thing, and I comfortably sit on my right bum in this case. My hand is wherever I want it to be, and I'll explain a little bit further and a little bit later why that's important where your hand is. So the goal of this exercise is to really lift up this leg, and I'm going to, as if I have a string here on my pants, and I want to lift it up as a whole. I don't want to see that happen or that happen. I really want to lift it up as a whole. And what that's going to do, it's going to contract the muscles right here on that side. And these are the main muscles that are responsible for your stability of your knee. There's a huge relationship between your ankle stability and your hip stability. These muscles can also have a big effect on lower back. If these are not strong enough, they can cause, or at least influence, some low back pain or some knee pain. So these exercises are pretty important to do. But let's get back to the exercise. So we're going to be in this position, and the position of my hand is gonna determine how high I can lift it up. So let's say I put this hand, put it all the way away, or even lay on my side. You can see that I can lift this off really easily without that much effort. Yep. Of course, we want to make it a little bit hard, so we're gonna make it a little bit harder. So the closer I put my hand, the harder it is. And I want you to find a position where you can lift off a couple centimeters, but not 10 centimeters or something, or 20. So let's say for me that's about here. I'm gonna have my body aligned with my leg. I'm gonna rotate my hip forward. And then from there, I'm gonna lift that up. Good. Hold that for a little bit, fight for a little bit more space, and then drop it down. Gonna do that again. So lift that up and hold it. What my other hand is doing, it doesn't really matter. I can have them here on the floor, press in to keep my upper body stable. Or if you have the tendency to use your lower back for this, you can even put your hand on your pelvis and then keep that down. So you know that you're just moving that glute and working then those glute muscles. So a good indicator you're doing this right is that it starts to feel crampy here in your bum. If you feel it pulling in your lower back, you want to adjust the exercise so you just move that hip. And if you're new to this can start to feel crampy. So it will start to feel like this muscle is going to cramp up. That's completely fine. If you do this more often, it will become better. So don't get too worried. If you feel that cramp, just come out of the position a little bit and reset. Get a little bit more space and then do it again. Also here, we can do this as reps. So I'm just gonna wrap that out, or I can do holds where I'm go like, hey, I'm gonna be here, whoop, lift that up, and then hold it for 10, 20, 30, 40 seconds. And that's really gonna build that awareness and that strength in that outer hip. Yeah, so good luck with these exercises. It's perfectly fine that these are gonna give you a bit of muscle soreness the next day, but that's good. That means you're getting stronger. Yeah, so good luck and let me know if you have any questions.